Hello, this is Robert Faust, and I just thought I'd do a quick video here on the benefits of fulvic acid on oral health. There's been a new scientific paper published, and it's called Investigating the Biological Properties of a Carbohydrate-Derived Fulvic Acid as a Potential Novel Therapy for the Management of Oral Biofilm Infections. And it's done by it's published in Oral Health, and I'll put a link to this, but it's basically very, very detailed research. I mean, you got DNA testing, you got all the species of organisms like P. gingivitis, S. mitis, A. actinomycetes. So all the microbes were surveyed, and this was written by a dental school. There's all kinds of electron microscope photographs in this article, but it just goes to show you what's happening in the world of fulvic acid. It's really getting into a high-tech research using scanning electron microscopes and really the latest DNA and molecular biology. Conclusions: the study has demonstrated that a naturally derived compound, fulvic acid, exhibits broad spectrum antimicrobial activity against orally relevant biofilm organisms. So what that means, bottom line, is it reduces gingivitis, which is gum disease, which causes lots of problems, what they call dental caries, which we call having dental caries, they call it. You need a filling. And then eventually you end up with a root canal, and you end up having to get implants or wear dentures. Now, so the data is clear that this is as effective as chlorhexidine, which is the prescription fairly toxic material they give you for gingivitis, to gargle. This fulvic acid has many other benefits, which I've talked about in length. But what we're talking about here is something that you could use 2 or 3 times a day, and you'd save yourself a lot of money in the long run by reducing the amount of gingivitis, and just generally speaking, all kinds of oral biofilms that cause tooth decay. So you can save a lot of money. Now, the reason I'm doing this now is just this week I had dental surgery done, and I experimented using our fulvic acid Wujinsan with and after the oral surgery. So what I had was one extraction, one laser treatment where they cut away tissue that was infected from the last implant they had placed a couple weeks ago, and it got infected. It was painful, it was throbbing, and so they used a laser to cut the flesh away, the gum tissue away from the implant, and then let it heal. So this time I had them spray the Wujinsan when they did that. And then the next thing they did, this was all the same time, so it was kind of a very tough deal. Then the next thing was an extraction of an old root canal tooth, and it had an abscess. And then they drilled 2 holes and inserted two implants. So it was long, involved laser surgery on the gum, an extraction, and placing 2 implants. So I had them use the Ujinsan to spray before they put after the drilling, before they put the implant in, and then afterwards I didn't gargle, because you're not supposed to gargle, but I rinsed my mouth with pure Ujinsan, which is the same strength, slightly stronger actually than what they used in this trial in Glasgow, Scotland, the dental school. And they expected it was be quite painful for me, so they prescribed a narcotic for the pain. Well, you know, I washed my mouth a couple times the first night with the fulvic acid. Next morning, I didn't experience any pain at all. Now, I've done this before, a couple years ago when I had an implant, and same result. This time it was extensive things going on in my mouth. And of course they were worried about bleeding. Don't drink anything hot, don't drink any soda. We want this to heal. We want to have a good blood clot formation on those extraction sites and the surgery site. Nope, no problem. Didn't have any bleeding, didn't have any pain. So not just from this research, and I didn't have any infection, no signs of infection. So from what I've seen in my own experience, and I've seen this before, and it's just an obvious benefit to your oral health, which is an incredibly expensive thing if you don't do preventative. It's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars for implants and oral surgery and root canals and all this kind of stuff. It's just incredibly expensive. Gargling with or rinsing your mouth with the fulvic acid once or twice a day, in the morning and at night, or even 3 times a day, if you already have gingivitis, which is gum disease, 3 or 4 rinses per day, and you can cure it. It's generally what they're going to prescribe is chlorhexidine, which is a fairly toxic antibiotic compound. They warn you not to swallow it. just kind of hold it in your mouth for a while. But this research that I'm talking about here compared the fulvic acid with chlorhexidine, and it was just as effective. And they did all kinds of extensive statistical analysis. It's really amazing research. It's really well done. The abstract says a number of oral diseases, including periodontitis, derived from microbial biofilms and are associated with increased antimicrobial resistance. Despite the widespread use of mouthwashes being used as adjuvant measures to control these biofilms, their prolonged use is not recommended due to the various side effects. Therefore, alternative broad-spectrum antimicrobials that minimize these effects are highly sought after. Carbohydrate-derived fulvic acid is an organic acid which is previously demonstrated to be mycobiocidal against Candida albicans biofilms. Therefore, the aims of the study were to evaluate the antibacterial activity of fulvic acid against orally derived biofilms and to investigate the adjunctive biological effects. The results were fulvic acid was highly active against all of the oral bacteria tested, including Prophylomonas gingivalis, with a sensile minimum inhibitory concentration of 0.5%. This concentration was shown to kill multi-species biofilm by approximately 90% levels compared to that of chlorhexidine. In a mammalian cell culture model, pretreatment of epithelial cells with buffered fulvic acid was shown to significantly downregulate key inflammatory mediators, including interleukin-8, after stimulation with multi-species biofilm. Conclusion: fulvic acid was shown to possess broad-spectrum antibacterial activities with a supplementary function of being able to downregulate inflammation. These properties offer an attractive spectrum of functions from a naturally derived compound, which could be used as an alternative topical treatment strategy for oral biofilm disease. Further studies in vitro and in vivo are required to determine the precise mechanism by which fulvic acid modulates the host immune response. So that's basically the result. Yeah, it works. Now they're looking into why it works. Well, we know why it works from other research, and that's its effect on pathways within the cell, molecular pathways that essentially turn on resistance to pathogens and diseases. And so it stimulates the body's own response to these organisms that are in biofilms in your mouth. And so the cells produce what it takes to destroy these things. It's not a poison, it's an activator. It activates your immune response against these, and it's more effective, and it can be used on a regular basis all the time. So, you know, they're going to try to figure out why, but we already know from other research why. And I'm not sure why matters as much as that it's safe and effective and inexpensive. It can save you a huge dental bill down the road, just like what it cost me the other day. And I'm sure a few dollars worth of Wujinsan fulvic acid can save you just an incredible amount of money, pain, and time. So that's all I have for today. And check out the website, monolifelabs.com, and it's Wujinsan, which is golden medicine in Chinese, fulvic acid in English. It contains 1%, based on the HPTA test method, which is a accredited test method, so you know what you're getting, and you know how it compares with the research where they used 0.5%, so that means you could dilute it 50-50, and then gargle with it, rinse your mouth with it 3 to 4 times a day, or twice a day, or spray it on or use it after oral surgery. And that's Robert Faust signing off.